So hey, this is Yash, and this would be, I would say, the very first video of this small series that I'm going to make. So it will be all about this particular thing that I built. This was built for the Liquid Galaxy community. Liquid Galaxy, originally founded by Google in 2008, open sourced in 2010, and works on this stunning visualization. Let me just show you what it is. So if I go to Liquid Galaxy, uh, I will just Google search it. Okay, it doesn't give me, so I will just go to google.com. I will search Liquid Galaxy, and this is the community I'm building it for. This is the stunning visualization that they have. There are some that still exist, as it was all, I would say, a very big thing back in 2008 to 2012 when Google was actually very, I would say, focused on making it. This one was in San Francisco, and there are still some labs that are existing in New York offices at Google and some other offices. But yeah, these no longer are being developed. It was like the project got matured and then people lost interest and they move on, things like that. But yeah, this community is thriving because you can make a lot of stunning data with projects on Google Earth, and Google Earth in itself you cannot do that because that's closed source. But Liquid Galaxy has like an open source version that allows you to do some stunning things, like this was built by me, the La Palma project. It's a very nice effect. So for this community, they wanted their own web store, the way that we have your let's say Play Store, but this was just for the Google Earth. So Go web store, Go means this G is blue. It is just to show that we are shipping Chromium apps, and this O is also depicting Google Earth because everything runs on this fabulous Google Earth space, this fabulous Liquid Galaxy cluster panoramic display of Google Earth. So yeah, something you might have noticed when we start this stunning G animation. I don't know if you have seen it. I do have a Pixel phone, so I can show you. If I just start my Pixel phone, and I'm not sure if it is going to show in the video correctly, but yeah, let me just try. So if I just switch off and switch on my Pixel phone, and I will just put it in front of the camera, and let me just do that. So if you, I don't know if you are able to see it, but yeah, this Google thing that comes up, and now it will animate, and yeah, you have this G, and this G has this C curve that moves or arcs in a way that is like really stunning. Some effect that you may want to build for your own app, and I'll be showcasing. This is the very first thing, so let's begin with that, and let's not touch upon any other thing. There is something like this particular transition, that was the view transitions that we'll be looking on, and there are some other things as well. So yeah, let's first look at what do we have online. So like what's already available online for you. So if I just search Google icon animation, I believe there is Google logo animation. Yeah. So yeah, there are some videos that showcases it, and there might be a very good guide. I am sure I have seen it before. Uh, I think I have to. Yeah. There it is. So there is a very good guide on CSS tricks that is telling you how to do it exactly. Like if you see this particular thing, but there is a problem. Like yeah, this is good, and this is the particular G effect, the last thing that usually stays in our mind from the UX perspective. This is something that yeah is really cool, and in order to mimic it, if I go or read this very interesting CSS tricks blog, it uses something like GSAP, and you may know that this can be too much of a code to render if this is something that you want to paint on the very first loading preloading screen or the very first hero section of your page. And what I thought is, yeah, this is cool, this is stunning, but this is too much of code to go or to be consumed in the first page. I want something simpler, because in reality this can be done in a much simpler way. So then I will just go to this Figma file. I will just show you first how in design it looks like. So whoops. So yeah, those are some other logos for some other projects, some cool projects that we will have. But yeah, let's first focus on the Go web store. So if you may see that this is divided in these four parts, each of them can be separated. And yeah, and I think this is all I need to know if I want to animate it, that yeah, these are the four parts and I want this particular C curve. And I don't care if it is using GSAP, it is using something else. It must be fast, it must be performant, it should not be loading a ton of JS beforehand. If it can all happen through just HTML and CSS, how good would that be? And then I come to know that yeah, there is this particular O of the Google Earth that has some other parts, and I think I can, yeah. So if you can see, there are these separate parts in this as well. Yeah. So I want to use that. I want to use what this has and what this offers in order to animate it on my loading screen of this particular thing. And let's start it. So without further ado, I will just open a Codepen. I will showcase that I have already have done it before. So first let me just export it as a reference, and then let me just delete this whole thing. Yeah, so I will just start again, and what I mean is I will first grab this SVG, and yeah, I'm going to do the whole thing again because I want to show, I want to make a very good tutorial right now that how you can do it without using a lot of JavaScript, and it can just directly happen. So let me just see, where did the stuff get downloaded. So this is not the one, but yeah, it does the job, I believe. So let me just open it on. So this is the original logo without any classes or anything added. This is how it looks. I will just make the body color to some dark color. I like this one, 01012. Yeah. Well, background color. Okay. And now let me just quadruple the size here. So let me just go 192, and let me just go here 272, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, it's all good. So now I have this and I want to animate it the way that it was. So the first thing that I might try is seeing that what these various path in my SVG stand for, and let me just collapse this JS. I don't need to have any JS in this particular snippet. Yeah, this is good. And I can expand on the HTML a bit, and let me just yeah, close this down as well. So what does this first path mean? And just to know what is this, I will just remove it. And this was for web store, so I can just name a class that it is the class for text, and I don't know if I will do something about it or no. That's really doesn't matter. The second thing is this is clipped here. I can actually remove this clip path. I can actually make it yeah. Why did I do that? So let me just first showcase to you that why did I remove it. So I will just remove class something like temp, and I will just do a dot temp and translate it to, and I'm using this instead of transform translate, I'm using the shorthand method 20x 20 pixel 20 pixel. Yeah, so if I do that, I know that you can see that this has gone, but if I just removed it a little bit, instead of 20 just do 2. Yeah, so you can see that it is getting clipped right here. So if I were, this was my class temp, and I will just use it, and if I were to animate it and if it is getting clipped like that, let me just do it in this form as well. This is fine, this is not clipped by some other tag, but this one, if I do it, this is also within the G tag. So if I use this temp, it is already translating. Let me just see which, yeah, I'm just trying it on a few Google Earth. Yeah, so you can see that this is getting clipped, and I don't want it to get clipped. So if I remove this particular thing, this clip, yeah, so right now Right now it is not clipped, so you can see that it can go outside of its own zone, but it will still stay available. And let me just remove rename all these classes as earth. So this will be earth, this will be earth, this will be earth, this will be earth, and this, I think this was the last one to be named earth. And I hope that this was all, just to make sure. Yeah, this was also earth, this is also earth. I mean, these are all part of this Google Earth thing, and just to make sure, if I remove the one that I have not, this would be part of this G, I believe. So yeah, so I can just try removing all of them to just see if my G goes away and my earth stays as is. Yeah, so these are all part of the I think I can make a comment here like this and say Google bluish logo. Let me just logo, yeah, and end of Google logo. I can do that, but yeah, that's the thing. So now I have all the earth uh, classes added, and I could have used the svg animate tag or something like that. That would have been cooler, but still this is way cooler than using your GSAP, and not way cooler, way simpler, and it is like much faster to load. So that's what I want, and I will just name it animation, maybe something called wave, 2-second ease. I hope so. I could have used a cubic bezier, and by the way, if you want to use cubic beziers, you can go to this particular site to make your own cubic beziers, and maybe we will try these, but I believe these will do. So let's just say earth, and I will be picking the first of child, so nth of type would be 1, and like so I will be picking all the 1 2 3 4 5 of them. I think there are more, because this is actually, if you saw the uh, svg, this has 2 or 3 more behind, which is this particular, I don't know if you can see, yeah, this, the translucent circle that it has. So yeah, and just so that we know what I will be doing in this wave, I will just put that wave first. So keyframes, and all of them will be using the same wave to make that particular wave, from let's say 0 to we translate to, I'm going to push the y in -2 pixel, maybe like this, to, yeah, and 20% would be 2 pixel, 40% could be 40% could be. And by the way, if you do any of these type of mistakes, you can just do this analyze CSS, so it tells you that, yeah, you're not doing it right, something is off. Yeah, so yeah, I'm sure if I just do it again, it will just go away. Yeah, empty field blocks, I know. I can right now comment it. Yeah, it's all good. So it starts off with -2. I'm not liking this. It should start off at 0. This could just be same, and then 2 pixel, then -2 pixel, and then maybe uh, I'm sure there would be a better way than repeating these here, but let's just, for the sake of it, let's just keep on doing what we are doing. So sorry. And yeah, ends with a 0. So I think you can see that this is an infinite, yeah, no, infinite both, yeah, this is an infinite going animation that is working its way. It's going bit into this, so I will just make it 1 pixel. What I wanted, it should not get clipped anyhow. And now I will be using them to give that particular wave effect by using you know what, animation delay. so be 100 millisecond, and I can just increase it to 200 millisecond, and I think that yeah, it has started to jiggle bit. Yeah, and let's make more of these. 3 and 4, 4 would be 300, 400. It has started to do its thing, and 500, and I know that this could actually be changed depending on how you want it to look like right now I'm not, I kind of like it, it's not too bad, but at the same time I want it to be slower, I believe. So let me just make it 4 seconds first. Let's see if it slows down. Much better. I mean, it's not too bad. So it's starting off as 0, ending at 0. It is making some kind of a movement here, and yeah, it's animated kind of like we wanted to. And now let's go to the next part, which is the very G animation effect that we saw here. Yeah. So this may be a bit different than this one. I have not actually copied it word to word. I just want to give the effect, right? That's what I want. So the next thing is, we know that the Google logo is here. So I will just rename all of them to, that was Earth. This can be G or Google. I wanted to call it something else because this G is blue. It's simply meaning that we ship Chromium apps to on our Liquid Galaxy platform. Many of them are based on Chromium. Some of them are based on uh, Google Earth, Google Maps, Street View, things like that. And some are not based on anything. But yeah, the main point was these apps. So let me just use some animation like the one that we have here. So I will be calling it, I don't know, arc, or so it is like revealing itself, right? So reveal 1.2 second ease. And by the way, I am just writing the numbers and ease by just hit and try. I'm not thinking what I could do differently here. And it should be forwards. It should end right where we are ending the animation. It should not reset itself, so forwards. And now Google nth of type OG. I could have analyzed it, but I can see it myself. Type 1, and let me just first see if I can query it display none, just to see if it is working. No. I remember that if I queried it from the end, it was working. Yeah, and I was not sure why. So if you want, you can take a look at this code and later give me a reason why. But I remember that if I was querying something like last of type or nth of type from the end, it was working. And if I was querying something like nth of type from the front to any number, and maybe it was a problem with Safari, because I think this was correctly working in Chrome, and I can file this bug or issue, so-called issue, or I'm actually documenting the SVG on Mozilla, so I can just take a look there and ask someone who knows better. But yeah, I'm sure that there was a good reason why it was querying from the end when I was trying it first. So I have just got the first G thing, and I want the second, the third, and just to make sure if the fourth one is just display none. Yeah, so this is the C that I want to animate. I have not very much considered about this last one, so I just have these three and I want it to animate. And the way I want to do that is that all of them should be so I will just make a keyframes here. keyframes, and I believe that there are better ways to write it, like you have inline css properties too. You can just use that, and you could just have put it there. That would have been much nicer, but yeah, for the sake of doing it and for the sake of when we compile this css, so it should be the same, I'm just making it so more users can engage and understand in a much simpler way. So for 0%, let's say I want to translate it, let's say to, let's try some numbers. 15 pixel, 15 pixel, what would happen if I do that? Okay, not what we want, definitely not what we want. So I will just do, and this is applying for everything that says Google, right? So I would not want to give the class to this, and let me just make the css back as it was. Oh, okay, I removed the class from the wrong this, and I can remove my comment to here. I could have left it, but it's okay. So yeah, I got what I wanted. I will just rotate it, and I will rotate it by 45 dg. Let's see what will happen. Not what I want, definitely not what I want. So let's just first see what I can do with each of these g's individually by rotating them. This is the, yeah, and when I am rotating them, I wanted to rotate all the way back to here, right? So if I do that, rotate, and maybe if I set some origin, so transform, I'm not sure if origin is a property too. 15 pixel, 15 pixel, I mean I want it to rotate, but kind of from an origin, right? From an origin, and I want it to rotate the way that I want it to rotate. So yeah, so right now it is kind of rotating where I would want it to be. So yeah, it is going that way. Let's change this to 16. I hope this, and let's change this to 16. I hope that does something too. Yeah, now we are talking. So 150, and by the way, you could just do something like rotating, translating, I don't know, there could be many ways to do it. In css there are 1,000 ways to get it right, there are just one or two ways to get it wrong, usually there are none. So I believe that there are multiple ways to get this one get going to. You could use GSAP too, I am not against it, but I want something bit more fast, just native to native. I am just fan of what native can do. The native css is best. Yeah, so it has rotated all the way back, and I just want the 100%, or I could have written from or to, so it is the 2 that I wanted to rotate back to 0 degree. I care that a translate or transform origin can stay, and yeah, nice, very nice. So I want this, and I want some other, so I will just remove this for now. I don't want to animate it right now. So and I think if I do the transform origin of all of them are simply in the same arc, right? They are revealing itself in the same arc. So the transform origin can go here, it can be shared between all of them, and I will just rotate these two. And by the way, I was very nervous before deleting it, right before I just deleted it, to do it again, and without seeing any resources I was like, how can I do that? But yeah, I love this language, I can do that. I just have to believe I can, and that's all. So yeah, N105 would do. And figuring it out is all learning, right? You can enjoy the whole thing, the whole process. 45, what about that? I don't want it to go over the top, so that's not something. Yeah, now all of them should go back to their, wow, as you can see it is good in itself, but let's slow it down. Let's take a whole slower shot what is happening. Yeah, so I would say I'm not happy that this blue is not the first one. There is this whole light blue or some other line that is, yeah, taking, so that can delay its animation happily. So animation delay would be, I believe it is the second one, I'm not so sure, I'll just make it 1 second. Oh, it's not, it's, so yeah, and I'll just make it back to 1 and make it back to let's say 100 milliseconds. Okay, no, no, right, no. What can we do to make this better? Let's just try a few things. Let's just try animation delay of all of them. Okay, so this is delaying the first one. I don't want to delay the first one. Let's just delay the second one. Okay, not good. Let's just delay it a little less, like 60. Let's see how that would. Okay, and let me just remove this rotate so it stays in its original position. Okay, so okay, I got it. So in the very beginning it's not adjusted in the right way, and let's make it 65. Okay, so it this is the problem, this is the one that we would want to delay, and this is the one that we would want to delay, and this is the rotate that we want to set, and this is, let's make it 1 instead of infinite. So, and this was like 60 milliseconds. Let me just make it infinite. We are almost there. Okay, so it's not animating no longer, right? Because, and let me just slow it, and let's see what is happening here. So this blue is getting the lead, and yeah, that's what we wanted, and this is slowing down. And let me just save it and make it 1, and we are done here. This is good. If I reload this page, and you can see this, yeah, much better. And you can just play with it. I will just add the Codepen to the description or something like that, and adding it to the description would do, and also this whole very good animation which is stunning. And okay, it didn't work. Okay, because we are still changing the URL to store.liquidgalaxy. I believe some of them are shifted, I'm not very sure about that, or it could be something else. Oh, no, it is because the data is cached, right? I got it. Let me just, I can either delete the history, or I want to see if this whole, yeah, it is working. So let's keep going. With this, I would say this was the end of the first part. I showed you the animation for this particular and the Earth for the Google Earth. And in the next video, I am going to talk about this whole thing will be in parts about view transitions, something that you can see and how it is happening, and what you can do and what you cannot do with it. So yeah, stay tuned.